How are you doing, everybody? How you been getting on? It's, what is it? It's Wednesday. Wow. Wednesday, the 1st of April, April Fool's Day, 2020. But we're no fools, are we? Today was an interesting day. You haven't seen me upload for a couple of days. Just work has been pretty well all-consuming. I logged on here about 10 after 7 this morning, and I'm recording this at about 20 after 5. I just finished my last phone call and logged my system off for my work computer. So I'm pretty well all in. My morning had a little bit of a gap though. I was able to get out. I had a medical appointment to do first thing in the morning. I had to pick up a couple of prescription medications at my drugstore, and I also went out for a few essential items just to do it early in the day to get it done with. But my goodness, what an absence of activity this has created in our downtown. I drove over this morning. I first went to my appointment, and then I went up to the local Walmart, actually. I wasn't sure how the Walmart was handling things as far as crowd control, but I thought if I went right at opening time that I wouldn't have to worry about that. And sure enough, it was very quiet this morning at 8 o'clock. There were some cars around, there were some customers in the store, but instead of having those two big entry and exit doors automatically opening, they had a central door, a pull door, and with gates that directed you to go in through that door. You could come out the exit door, that's fine, but to get into the store you came in essentially one at a time, and I guess this would help them create a lineup outside if they needed to do that. So that all worked really well, I thought. Inside the store in the grocery area, they had done the tape on the floor thing with the one-way aisles, which was great. So I was in there, probably 5 or 10 minutes. I just knew exactly what I needed to get. I got it, and then I got out of there. And then I drove downtown. I had some time to kill, though, because the pharmacy where I wanted to go and pick up my order, they don't open till 9 o'clock. So I got downtown about 10 after 8 or quarter after 8. So I parked my car. The forecast rain that we were supposed to have all day today didn't really materialize. And this morning, other than a few showers here and there, it was mostly dry. There was dampness on the pavement, but there wasn't much falling from the clouds. So I went for a walk. Why not? The wind was not excessive, so I went for a stroll around the downtown, and I took my phone with me and I set it in video camera mode, and I took some video of the building I work in, for instance, from the across. I was standing in a bus shelter, and you can hear the pitter-patter of a bit of rain on the top of the bus shelter, but my building, I'm taking this image this morning at, I don't know, quarter after 8, 20 after 8, and at any other day of any other week this time of year, that place would be just hopping. There would be streams of people going in at this hour of the day, but there weren't any. When you hear the bells chiming on the church, you can hear them with the hardly any traffic noise underneath them. Quite remarkable, frankly. I walked around the PEI legislature and the Coles building. I shouldn't call it the legislature right now because since 2015, our assembly members have been meeting in the Coles building. They've moved the legislature to this other building beside Province House, which is what our official name is for the legislature, because it's undergoing, I think it's up to $70 or $80 million complete renovation and refit. This building was built in the 1840s, but it hadn't been really renovated or refurbished in quite some time. So knowing that there were some structural issues with the stone and with the underlying superstructure, they decided to close the thing altogether, and they put a great big tarp around the whole business, build a wooden fence to make it a true construction zone. And for a couple of years now, it's been under this constant renovation. And from across the street where I work, you can often go outside and see the flash of welding torches. You can hear the banging of equipment and stuff. So whatever they're doing over there, it's very expensive, but it's going to make for a very nice building when it's all done. Because not only is it a functioning assembly for our members to do the business of our provincial government, it's also a tourist attraction. And it's owned by or administered by Parks Canada, which would be our equivalent of the National Park Service in the United States. It's one of our most historical and treasured sites, certainly here in PEI. So I took a walk around. I had the run of the place. There's really nobody there. I walked down Richmond Street, which is also known as Victoria Row. In the summertime, they have a nice wrought iron identifier gateway to it. And in the summer, they block that off to vehicles, so it's a pedestrian mall. And over on the Confederation Center of the Arts side of the street, there's a bit of a bandstand where live music will play. And all of those restaurants and cafes across the street have outdoor patios where people can sit. And I got thinking when I was walking along Richmond Street today, this would be, I think, the first visit of our first cruise ship would be any time now. And cruise ships have been essentially canceled or postponed until, I think, well into June, if not into July, before we're able to take cruise ships again. And that date may even be pushed farther into the summer or into the fall, hopefully not. But the cruise ship passengers would soon be walking around Charlottetown, taking the same kinds of pictures that I was taking today on my walkabout. And I got thinking of the businesses, the restaurants, the shops that depend on the tourists and cruise ship passengers so much. And they're going to be missing out on months and months of revenue. And hopefully they can survive this. There are economic programs in place from 2 levels of government in Canada. The same kind of thing is happening in the US to try to keep businesses from dying altogether during the requirement to isolate ourselves for the COVID outbreak. But my goodness, it's quiet, and you never see the town this way on a weekday, ever. Even on a Sunday, it's probably busier than I saw it this morning. So it's really quite something to see such emptiness and isolation. So I got my stuff. I came straight home, and I've been home ever since. Working here behind me. This is my workstation. It's connected to, when I want to, it's connected using a virtual private network to the government portal, and I can pass through that to do my regular work. I can do basically everything I could do at the office, I can do here. I can get onto the systems I need to be on. I can move documents around. I can add things. I can delete things. I can correspond with people. I can report. And of course, we've got the phone system as well. And we've just launched within the department in the last week or so our version of Microsoft Teams, which integrates with our Office applications like Word and Excel and Outlook and all of that. We also use Skype for Business, and some of us are also using an application called Slack, which is not inside of government, but as long as we don't discuss sensitive or confidential information, we can use it as a chat line as well and a place to exchange and share information. So it's been working quite well. And from what I hear from the team, they're all thriving now at home. We've got enough VPN connections basically for everybody so that we can all be on regular hours in the daytime. We can do our work and feel our sense of accomplishment doing what we do at the end of the day. We all are very eager to be back in our regular workplaces. But in the meantime, the business of government and the business of business, depending where you are, must go on. And people like us and people like you have to keep the lights on. So we're getting it done, and we're finding new ways of working. I'm encouraged that this will work out, at least on the functionality side, quite well. We don't want to see people sick. We certainly don't want to see people dying, and those things will happen. But if we can keep our society going, and particularly our institutions like the one I work for that provides very important benefits to people, then we're doing okay, and we will continue to do okay. Hope you're doing okay wherever you are. Remember, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and keep your distance at least 2 meters or 6 feet from the people around you, and we will all be much safer sooner as a result. Have a wonderful evening.